Welcome to this episode of Tips for Your Tits. I'm your host, Claire Ginsler, a fashion stylist and bra expert with over 30 years experience in the industry. In this podcast, we aim to empower, inspire and uplift you to look after your tits. In today's episode, we have two special guests. My first guest is Maggie Campbell, who's a specialist clinical midwife at the NHS and works privately.
Boobs is part of my trade, shall we say.
And how long have you been working for NHS?
25 years.
That's why you're here. My second guest is Marcia Jeffries, who's a model and also breast cancer survivor.
I had breast cancer, I worked out 28 weeks ago.
Lisa.
When you see someone with cancer, it's not diverse enough.
No.
63 days after I had my operation, I was taken along to a shoot along with other women that had mastectomies. There was myself, there was a Chinese lady, there was an Indian lady, and we did this shoot to do a pamphlet for the NHS. But we did that.
Well done.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you ladies, first of all, what do you call your breasts, Marcia?
I don't have a name for them because I see them as neat, tidy things that shouldn't be overly seen. They should be neat and smart. So if we can find a name for neat and smart, that's what I'd call them.
And why do they have to be neat and smart for you? Where does that come from?
I would say my upbringing. I just don't feel like they should be seen. They should be... I don't dislike them, but I like to keep them neat and just...
So do you ever just show cleavage?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Good. Is that then the bra styles that you would choose?
Yes, most definitely. Definitely. I don't choose anything, and I think sometimes I wish I would. I don't choose anything flouncy or flowery, or if you open my underwear drawer since I could wear a bra from CNA, AA, they have been black top and bottom. And it's not a set, but if I open my drawer and pick a bra or pick a pair of knickers, they are.
Have you ever gone for a flesh colour, matching colour? Now that it's obviously brands are introducing
Yes,
that.
I have been gifted a couple of bras, and so a white set looks lovely. I've got a red set that somebody gave me, really lovely.
Yeah.
But then I just feel, it sounds strange, naked. Right now, if you ask me to get undressed, I'll happily get undressed in my smart knickers and bra. But if you put me in something fancy, I feel strange.
So would you go for mesh?
Not to, because I have quite large...
Is Marcia said she's not going to say the word nipple. Why do you not like saying that word?
I can't. I don't know. I've got a friend that's teased me all my life. I've known her a long time. No, not in a bad way. He did at one point put 2 sultanas in a little jewellery box and said, she was just saying to me, come on, get over it. They're just breasts with...
So you just said the word breast.
Yes.
That is the name.
Neat and tidy breasts.
But they are breasts.
But don't talk about the things on the end.
So Maggie, over to you. What do you call your breasts?
They're my boobs.
Boobs, okay.
Yeah. Being a midwife, obviously I work with women's boobs, bosoms, breasts, bosoms you don't hear very often.
Why that bosom?
Easy word, doesn't it? You know, that's just part of my trade really, is working with women's breasts, shall we say, and getting them confident about the anatomy, what they're there for, what they see them as, basically, for nurturing and feeding babies. So the nipple is the most important bit. So that word I have to say several times a day or many times a day.
The word nipple is normalised.
Absolutely.
It's functional.
Absolutely.
Whereas I guess, in a sense, Marcia, you've almost sexualised the word.
Possibly, yes. Just never spoke about them. I only ever saw my mum in her sleep. I never saw a naked adult until I became an adult, a big adult myself. So, and I know I've had children and everything like that, but then, again, with the children, I didn't breastfeed them. It was really bizarre.
Why was it bizarre? Why do you think it was bizarre?
Because it didn't feel like a mother nurturing a child. It just felt like...
Detached?
Yes, so detached. I think I'd never seen anybody breastfeed a baby. Never seen.
Maggie, you must see lots of women breastfeeding.
Some women are more than happy to breastfeed. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
There are those who don't want to breastfeed. There are the partners who don't want to breastfeed because they see them as theirs.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, well, because that's that sexual side, that's mine, it's not hygiene. And the relationship really with, the mammary glands is really, it's quite primal, it's quite animal, and it is, for some men, suckling, that sort of, whatever that closeness, and they have this, attachment to boobs, to a sense that we can go back to sort of their infancy and their attachment to their mother. And it's that warmth, that loving, that connection, and they see it as theirs.
Is it like quite, it's today's society, a little bit shocking? Or
it's there. I mean, it's definitely there. They can be quite jealous of the relationship between the child and the mother. It's still there.
And does the mother tend to go, okay, if my husband doesn't want me to?
I mean, I have known women who literally have gone with the husband's wishes. But then breastfeeding now, I think, is a bit more acceptable. Men are more included in birth these days and in the whole parenting scenario. So therefore, they are quite pro breastfeeding. It's very rare to find somebody who will sustain breastfeeding for very long. That's the interesting bit. People want to then move back to normality.
What is the ideal length of time that women should breastfeed?
I mean, in the ideal world, a year, up to a year, or could even be beyond.
Yeah.
However, that's not what happens in reality these days. But actually, our breastfeeding rates in this country are actually quite low. Everybody's lifestyle's different, really, as well.
Yeah.
So for some women, they do jobs, they're under pressure to get back to work. Yes, we're supposed to be baby friendly, breast friendly, all this sort of thing. But how many workplaces do we know that truly do support women to breastfeed? So we're already thinking about stopping.
Yeah.
When they just started. That's an interfere to the whole sex. It's complex. I don't think women should feel shamed or feel bad or they're a bad mother, because mothering is about your mother-baby bonding.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
They shouldn't, but unfortunately, they do.
Yeah.
So we're learning that breasts are individual to everyone. What's been your relationship with your breasts while you've been growing up? What are the key moments that you can remember now that stand out for you?
A nice key moment, I had a birthday. I'd gone to a sauna and I'd gone swimming with my neighbour, and she'd said to me, you've always got black on, you've always got black on. Nice, but black. And she gave me a present. And it was this lovely cream box. And I remember opening it. There was all this cream tissue. And then there was these red beads. And inside was a cream knickers and bra set. And I opened the box and it was like, what? It was so beautiful. And it smelt really lovely. I think it's been on my back once.
Why once?
You know how you have smart clothes and you wear them when you go out or you're going to a special occasion? And I haven't done that yet, so I'm hanging on to it.
I'm all about, if you've got a beautiful outfit or you've got like a good underwear that's sexy and smart and gives you a confidence, which you can tell by your smile that bra does, then you should wear it all the time. To save it. If you save it for a special occasion, never going to wear it.
Yeah.
If you feel good in your underwear, it's going to show. It's going to give you confidence. Definitely.
Can you tell I have a nice one on today? And I did. I feel rather special.
You're looking hot.
I'm feeling good. Oh, I'm feeling good.
Especially for the podcast, you put on your special.
I did. I put on a nice one. And it's not black. It's not black.
It's not black. But you mentioned to me in a conversation outside this episode that you at one point thought your boobs were ugly. You said the word ugly, which really upset me because I've never seen my boobs as ugly, and I've never heard someone say that about their boobs. Do you still feel that way?
No, not at all. I'd gone to work one day, and it was a lady, and I'd gone to the toilet, and she said, "That's a beautiful jumper you have on, but we don't need to see all that." And when I went to the toilet, my are quite large, almost as big as the boobs that I had, and there wasn't much of it, but I was happy with what I had. And I found myself trying to find things to keep them flat. And I remember at one point a sellotape in the tape. Yeah. Because as soon as I got cold, you couldn't miss them.
Maggie, over to you.
All women have got something that they don't like about their body.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're really hard on ourselves. Yeah. And we're also very hard on each other. Okay. So on the bad side, I think for me, because I was like a 32B, I always felt like tiny and like there was nothing really there. And I head back to that word, my nipples, I always felt were too large, sort of like I felt I wasn't in balance. So I never wanted to wear a bra where you see the nipples, especially when it's cold, etc. Because you want to draw attention to yourself. But my comments about how I sort of felt about myself came from what other people said. So I remember going into this really nice shop to go and buy the bikini. And this woman was selling me, and she was really jolly, really helpful. And she said, look, darling, you could go to the Saint-Tropez beach, you could wear your bikini bottom. You do not need to wear a top. Now, at that age, I thought, well, she's saying I've got nothing left.
How old were you again? Sorry.
Must have been about 18. But now, if somebody said that to me, I'd be going, great, they're standing up, they're perfect. I'm showing them all. But then it was like, I saw it as a negative. And it made me feel quite self-conscious.
I was embarrassed that you're becoming a woman. I remember that for sure. One of my first kind of moments is literally looking down and my nipple was hurting. And I'm looking down thinking, what's going on? I don't understand. Thinking I was getting ill. And then my mother saying, no, you're becoming a woman. And she was excited that I was ashamed. I felt shame. And I don't know where that's come from. That was probably just, embarrassment that I had two brothers. Maybe that didn't help. But I felt embarrassment that I was becoming a woman, a sexual woman. I saw my breasts as sexual. And especially you do, I think, at that age, 18, 19, where men are looking at your breasts.
I think that sort of young girls today, you've got a bit more confidence because they will show their cleavage. They will show a lot more than when, I sort of grew up in the sort of era where it was the Princess Diana sort of stage and everything was covered up from ear down to ear. I look back and think, God, this only I've known that won't fall out. Because different now. I also work in gynecology. The shame and embarrassment that probably we felt when we like developing and young, that's shifted to the vulva.
Right.
And that's where girls are focused a bit more now. With their shame and embarrassment and changes through puberty, etc. Am I normal? Am I like anybody else? So it's quite interesting how, time changes and fashions shift. But
that's a good point.
But it's been women that have said comments in my story where it's made me feel self-conscious. So somebody once commented on my nipples. That made me cover them up even more. Men don't quite say the same thing.
No.
People should think very carefully. There needs to be a filter because actually one comment can stick.
There's empowerment going on. There's a movement, which is very positive, where at last, artists, influencers, experts are saying we can be in all different shapes and sizes. Our boobs are different shapes and sizes. We can have a nipple. We can't have a nipple. There's a lot of positivity around breasts, but there's also the way to look a certain way with beauty. And I still feel personally, there's a lot of images on social media that teenagers are seeing. And there's still that perky, perfect size looking breast that actually not only the teenagers who are developing, but also us who are 40 plus are still being compared to.
These contradictory messages make it more confusing. And there's certainly look that some people want to hammer, so that they want to have that makeup, those eyelashes, the lips, whatever. But you should be okay everywhere else. But that doesn't go together, does it?
No.
You're right. That's where the confusion comes from. But we are talking about trying to be a bit more inclusive, a bit more body wear, a bit more whatever. It's got a long way to go, really. It's a very long way.
It's got a long way to go. And actually, Marcia, you work as a model. Everything is out there.
They book me on the way I look. They look at your measurements. Every single job you do, what's your waist, inside leg, size, and you think, we don't fit in with the young ones. No. We don't fit in with the really, really, really old ones. And if you think of someone that was 40 when I was small, they looked old. We don't look like that. So where's our fashion trend? Where do we go?
There are campaigns out there. And obviously coming back to the breast, there's campaigns. There's brands like Dora Larson, like Understatement, like Triumph, who've all been great at using a diverse range of models, of skin tone, of age. And I think there is a message coming out there, but it's still a slow message.
I think on the flip side, for the young people, their exposure to learning about sex and sexuality and imagery, about self, body image, all that stuff, comes from porn. You know, a lot of young boys are learning now to look at women.
Such a good point.
There's after being taught, and it's now look back sex. And I see women in my clinics, she's been married maybe for 20, 25 years. She's never got undressed. Women's bodies do change. The breasts change. They change from puberty upwards. Your breasts change during the month for certain reasons. In anticipation of fertilization, nurturing the baby, then they'll shrink back down. As you get older, you're right, as estrogen drops, then obviously elasticity changes, but the boobs actually go further apart and it goes a little more underneath. It's towards your armpits, but that's on your.
How would you describe that again? When they get on the way, hard ways, like ways, way. Which I love that expression. So yes, you're right. Mine have done that. So I wear the style balconette, and why I wear it is I have definitely lost a bit of fullness. Fullness. And I miss that fullness. And I'm single. I'm recently divorced, and I was dating again men. And I was like, okay, I'm really looking at my breasts even more now. It's like I'm suddenly, I want to be that sexy woman I was 20 years ago, and I want to get her back. And I have got her back by wearing balconette style. I pulled out a black bra that's really got a good stretch because it's got a good mesh on it. So it's really quite firm. So it's sheer. It's got a really good underwire, because I love underwire. Now, this particular bra, which is called balconette, why I love it is because it gives you naturally a roundness. You feel that. It's not as high cut as a full cut bra, but it will still give you both coverage, but it gives you a natural uplift.
That's really lovely.
I like that sort of squarish front, that sort of neat. Yes. That's the only thing I would struggle with. I need to cover up the ends.
So can I tell you?
I've said it. You've said it. I'm going to cry.
So you can get a half padded balconette bra. The majority will be covered because it'd be half padded. It'd be solid there. This is Panache, a really good brand, and this is sold at Bravissimo. And Bravissimo is a brand that are really good for sort of cup shape. So if you're like a D upwards, even up to J, K, they will make your boobs look amazing. What I like particularly about balconette style is what you just mentioned, is you can wear low tops, you can wear a square neckline, you can wear a scoop neckline. For breasts that have lost a bit of fullness, balconette is your style. So you have to do your research. You have to find a bra and a style that suit you. The most important question is the fit. And that is also a key thing. Obviously, styling women, most women are wearing the wrong size bra. Marcia and I met when I gave her a fitting, and this happens with so many women. When I give them the right bra to wear, it literally changes them. They go, oh my God, my boobs look good in this. I'm going to explain now about our fitting.
I arrived at a job. She said, could you get undressed, take that off, pop on that. But I not long had surgery and was really sore. I'd been advised to wear a vest up, so it was a vest up with some sort of support underneath. And you looked to me, she went, why are you X? Oh, that's a your size. Almost talking to yourself. And I was thinking, shall I say? Because we were just getting on with it. And you gave me a bra, and you I'm clinging on to the one that I'm trying to keep this bit covered because I didn't want to for you to see. And you whipped it out of my hand, and the next thing I knew, there's a bra on me without nothing hanging out or any embarrassment or anything. And you put it on, and you just the strap. And I put this dress on, and I was like, oh my gosh. Absolute revelation. It's going to make me a bit, yeah. And then when I came back out in front of the camera, everybody go, oh my God, you. And I was like, but it happened so fast. And then I said, I've just had surgery, and you went, what? Like this, and it was just I was so happy. Was it
the first time for a while, perhaps also, that you felt that someone was looking at your boobs as a boob?
It's just Marcia, and you're still also trying to walk out into the world and look normal, and one's got a dinosaur bite out of the side of it. It's one side's bigger than the other, so you find yourself walking weird. I found myself wrapping scarves around my neck and draping it over that one. Yeah, and I didn't want people to see, because I told no one to see that they did it.
You told no one?
I told my children.
Yeah.
And my, obviously work, because I was going to be off time off work. But to this day, I haven't done my mouth.
You haven't? And why do you think that is?
I think she would make it so big. So big, yeah. And I just needed to get through the steps and do as I was told, because I'm not very good at that.
How do you feel now? It's been 28 weeks.
Yeah, well, today I have a lovely bar on.
Amazing.
Yeah, I do. I think.
Feeling sexy, looking sexy.
Yeah. I find I'm looking at them a lot more, and they're all right. They're just boobs. I didn't know what I thought they were before.
So a conversation on fitting, I gave you a few brands.
Curvy Kate.
Curvy Kate. I know, they're like an obesity. They're really good bras, again, for the fuller cut. And that's great, and they support it, but they're also quite pretty. They think about prettiness, they think about quality, support, and fit is amazing.
And that, it does feel really nice, and everything supported. No, it was a nude colour. It was a nude colour. No, it's not. It's not. I know. Shame. I get knocked over in the ambulance and it rips off my dress. It doesn't match. Oh my God.
Let's mismatch bras and knickers, definitely. Oh, you're all about that.
Oh, yeah. I am terrible. I'm always like matching to the...
Yes. It's got...
I used to...
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's what it
has to feel. You want to have the right...
Yeah, you want it to be...
Otherwise, if I'm wearing black bra, I'll be wearing black...
Yeah. Hand in the drawer, because I'm rushing in the mornings. Black. That's why everything is black, because I couldn't...
Go-to staple.
It is. If I'm stripped on uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Maggie, key question... How can we self-examine our breasts?
Women will choose certain parts of their body to look after and completely ignore the rest. Scan your body and just look for any changes in skin integrity, skin pigment, skin texture. And again, with the breasts, it's like feeling and moving. So you're actually... Because, the breast is made up of adipose tissue, it's made up of glands, there's all sorts of different parts. So it's just feeling around to feel if there's anything untoward or unusual, looking at your nipples, looking at your areola, and looking, underneath, around here as well, like you say, and under your armpits as well.
Yeah.
And just make that part of it. And again, also women need to be doing that and checking their vulvas.
Okay, what are we checking for?
Skin changes, pigment changes, again, anything that might be a suspicious lesion. And you can teach your partner. Okay. Also, be aware.
Okay, that's a good point.
Something.
Didn't think of that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So Maggie, how do you support women's health?
I try and look at everything holistically. So I work in the NHS, but I obviously worked for many years, but I had some time out and set up my own coaching business. So I've also been working on set companies around employee assistance support, and I also coach people around health and wellbeing. And that I coach men as well. So I'll coach men around menopause to support the women in their lives. Women give so much to everybody else, and they're often juggling so many things: family members, work, and more so today, I think. And they're still doing the lion's share of the housework. Let's be honest. Not much has changed there.
Yeah.
So women do need support, just a space that's private. They can just sit and focus on what matters to them. I'm starting a new role in menopause to bring that component into it. So I work alongside a professor who does the HRT side, the titration and stuff, and then I do the lifestyle and the confidence building.
So what about breast pain? Because I'm on HRT.
Oh, that's a goodie.
And I get lots of breast pain, and to the point that I went to my doctor, I got an emergency mammogram, and they went, absolutely nothing wrong with it.
And I work in a menopause clinic, I work with menopausal women as well. Women should also be educated about this right from the beginning, because your hormones are with you the whole of your life, and puberty all up. It's a constant journey. So women's breasts change size during their cycles.
Yeah.
The bit before you ovulate, it's
that's when my breasts are full, and I want to date a man straight away, because I'm like, and
again, it's about tweaking things to make sure you're in the okay dose, etc. But these are hormones, and that's what hormones do.
My last question to you, which I think is a very important question for us ladies, is how we look at our breasts today. Now we are single. If I'm honest, I'm in a very happy place with my boobs, but that's because I've done my research. I've been buying different brands. I've been spending a little bit more money. I've been buying different styles to work out what will give me confidence at the moment with my breasts. Underwear has definitely empowered me.
For you to move on another 10 years, I'm 61. I want to enjoy what's got left. And I want to feel good about myself. For me.
And it's empowering. Where are you at the moment in that journey?
Having found myself with cancer, and I must add in, you get a letter that says, go for a check, go for the check. So, body-wise, because I'm having to look at these little bad boys a bit more, they're not bad. They're good. Well, I think if you feel good underneath and feel good about your body, it does come out. It does show.
So wearing the right bra that fits you has boosted your confidence.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
That's the power also that you've made that decision to go out, experiment, get that bra that fits you. And by wearing that, it's given you that boost that you needed, that you deserve.
Yes, most definitely.
So I asked Maggie and Marcia to bring along some bras so we can have a little look.
Yeah, my show and tell.
Yeah.
So this one, I have to visit.
It's beautiful satin with lace. The brand is Minor, good brand. And doesn't say a size, so you've had it for a while.
And yes, that's one of the points I need to make.
It's been washed out straight away. Far too long is my response. That won't support you anymore. It stretched the underband so much. And I can tell by those straps, they're quite thin.
Yes.
Now they're couple. Oh, well, you're quite good with your sexy.
Yeah,
I got this gorgeous fuchsia pink and floral lace. Again, black satin. Oh, pleasure state.
And it's probably sitting in the cupboard. And it's not being worn as much as it should be. So it probably doesn't fit now.
It's going to be a bit small compared to your body now.
Will be.
But this is in good shape because you've hardly worn it.
Because I kept that for best occasions, but there weren't that many best occasions.
So there are now. If it doesn't fit you, it's not a keeper. But again, you can recycle this or give it to a friend who is that size.
Matching knickers.
And matching knickers. No, we don't want to look at that one. She just pulled out another bra that I've been seconds in. Looks like it's been worn to death as well. Okay, thank you very much.
I have bought 2 bras with me today that I got from a department store.
You are 28 weeks now. I put you in an underwire because I didn't know, but that gave you confidence.
Thank you.
But Molly, what do you think?
I think it's a difficult one. I think it's down to comfort and choice because actually, we probably shouldn't be wearing wire because the breast tissue is very soft and it's very sensitive and delicate, etc. The right fit, whether it's this or it's the wire.
If I'm going to go somewhere, I'll put on the wired bra so I feel together and supported. I quite like the feel of the non-wire, but I don't feel I'm getting the support.
There's some brands I'm going to tell you now about that do soft but sexy bras that will give you lift. There's one brand called Understatement. They're a Swedish brand, okay? They're relatively new to the UK, the name. They do beautiful mesh, no underwire. It's all wireless bras, but they're kind of fashion and then colourful and they're really fun. So if you want to inject a bit of colour, Understatement.
Just want to ask a question. So my youngest daughter, who's 21, does not like the feel of bras and wire, so she's constantly pulling and shoving. As soon as she gets home, she takes her bra off. She'd rather not wear a bra.
Lemonade Dolls, who've made a massive kind of, they're very inclusive, very diverse. They were at London Fashion Week. They had a great campaign that used Jade Adams, the comedian, but they're aimed at the younger generation as well as the older. So they do different style bras. They're all wireless. They're all pretty much laced or mesh. They're all colourful. So they're thinking about the different boob size and the different boob shape. Thousands of women, not only wearing the wrong size bra, but lack information how to look after them bras, their breasts, their tits, their nipples. But also, I guess, need that extra confidence. What I want to do as well is help women to fit themselves. Down a band, your upper band, you go up or down a cup. So you just learn to then know what a good fit bra is. If you've got a fuller cut breast, then don't go for some fabric that's really stretchy because you're going to pop out and it's not really going to support. The other tip is try on different styles. So I hope this episode has helped you guys out there. But also, I think it's given us a bit of a lift.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm going shopping.
Yeah, most definitely.
I think with this podcast, we're also going to add the brands and give you more kind of styles to each episode so that you can shop as well. Thanks to my guests, Marcia and Maggie. Thanks to you guys for listening. And please subscribe and follow us on Tips for Your Tits. And one more point, check your tits and make sure you're wearing the right size bra.